When we think about freedom, we usually think about what's written down in a constitution, right? But what if the real measure of a free society isn't about what the law says you can do, but what you can actually do in practice? Today, we're going to explore a really powerful idea that kind of flips our whole understanding of freedom right on its head.
All right, to get this, I want you to imagine something. Picture two different entrepreneurs in two different countries. But here's the thing. They've just had the exact same brilliant idea. They've got the same talent, the same ambition, the same drive, but as you'll see, their stories are going to end up being worlds apart. Okay, so first up, you've got Sarah and Austin. For her, turning that brilliant idea into a real business means spending a few hours filling out some forms online and paying a pretty small fee. Simple. Now let's meet Sergey. He's living in a system that's just choked by red tape. For him, that same idea means months of battling bureaucracy, dealing with corruption, and this constant fear that even if he succeeds, his business could just be taken from him. So what happens? Sarah launches her project. Sergey, he gives up and takes a safe corporate job. The difference wasn't the idea or the person, it was the world they lived in.
And that huge gap between Sarah's world and Sergey's world, it has a name: the price of initiative. It's the total cost and, I mean, everything. The time, the money, the incredible stress, and all the risk that a person has to pay just to try something new. When that price is low, ideas flourish and societies boom. But when it's high, they just stagnate.
Okay, so where did this whole idea come from? It's not just some nice story, right? It's actually built on some really foundational ideas from economics that explain how societies actually move forward.
This right here reframes the whole thing. Think of it like this. The economist Ronald Coase talked about something called transaction costs. Basically, all the friction and hassle involved in making any kind of deal. Well, every new idea, every initiative is a kind of transaction with society, and it always has a price. The goal of a really healthy, dynamic society should be to get that price as low as humanly possible.
And that is why this stuff matters so much. Another economist, Joseph Schumpeter, he called it creative destruction. It's this constant, messy, but absolutely vital process of new ideas and new ways of doing things replacing the old ones. This is the engine of all progress. And what fuels that engine? People taking initiative.
And look, this is way bigger than just starting a business. Initiative is the engine for every kind of progress. It's the scientist who challenges the old, accepted dogma. It's the civil rights activist who demands a change in social norms. It's the policymaker trying out a new, better way to govern, or the digital creator who's building something that completely shatters old media monopolies. Every single one of them is paying a price of initiative to do what they do.
All right, so if we're on board with this idea that the price of initiative is the thing that really matters, well, it forces us to completely rethink what we even mean when we say the word freedom.
Usually we think about freedom as being free from something. Like, can the government legally stop you from doing X? That's called negative liberty, and it's absolutely essential. But it's only half the story. This new paradigm asks a totally different and maybe more important question. Are you free to do something? Do you actually have the practical ability to take that idea of yours and make it real?
So I gotta ask you, which society is really the freer one? The one where the law says you can do something, or the one where you can actually get it done? Let me give you another example.
Think about it like this. It's one thing to say, hey, legally, anyone in this country can apply to Harvard. Great, that's freedom from being legally blocked. But is that real freedom? Real freedom is when a super talented kid from any background, from any neighborhood, has a realistic shot at actually getting in and being able to afford it. That's the whole point. Freedom on paper just isn't the same as freedom in real life.
Okay, so if the big goal is to crush that price of initiative for everybody, what does a society built to do that even look like? Well, it means we have to get beyond the same old political arguments.
This framework suggests a state that has two really powerful jobs, two arms, if you will. And here's the kicker. They're not fighting each other. They have to work together. One arm's job is to clear the path of all the obstacles. The other arm's job is to provide the fuel people need to actually make the journey. So that right arm, its whole job is to just relentlessly slash friction. You can think of it as the libertarian side of the equation. We're talking about digitizing bureaucracy, so the days of paperwork become minutes online. It means enforcing the rule of law, so contracts are ironclad and courts are honest. And it means breaking up the giant monopolies and cartels that box out new competition. Just get the junk out of the way.
But, just clearing the road isn't enough if people don't have gas in the tank, or if they're terrified that one wrong turn means total ruin. That's where the left arm comes in. This is the social side. A strong safety net acts like a trampoline, giving people the courage to take a risk. Investing in high-quality education and healthcare creates a population of capable people. And building infrastructure for everyone, like universal broadband, gives everybody the basic tools they need to get in the game.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wait a minute, doesn't a big safety net just make people lazy? And that's a fair question. The key is all in the design. We're not talking about building a comfortable hammock that encourages people to just lie back and do nothing. No, we're talking about building a launch pad or a trampoline. It's a system designed to give you the security to take a big leap, knowing that if you fall, it's not the end. It's there to help you bounce right back up and try again.
So let's bring this home. What are the stakes here? And why is getting this right so critical? Like right now? Because honestly, the price of doing nothing has never been higher.
And yeah, there's a totally valid concern here. If you make it super cheap and easy for anyone to try anything, won't you just open the floodgates to a bunch of chaos and terrible ideas? You know, from scammy startups to dangerous social movements?
The answer isn't to have some government committee deciding which ideas get a chance before they're even tested. No way. The real solution is to lower the barrier to try, but to have incredibly high standards and fierce accountability for the results. You need strong, independent filters, things like fair courts, a truly free press, and rigorous scientific peer review to sort the good ideas from the bad after they've had a chance to compete out in the open.
And this visualizes what's really at stake. This is the cost of getting it wrong. In a society where the price of initiative is high, you are leaving the vast majority of your people's talent, creativity, and potential just sitting on the table, completely unused. It is a staggering waste. By lowering that price, you don't just help a few lucky entrepreneurs, you unlock the genius of millions of people.
I mean, just think about the huge, hairy problems we're all facing. Climate change, the risks of AI, deep political polarization. There is no single government agency or genius CEO who's going to solve these things alone. Our only real hope is to unleash the massive, distributed, problem-solving power of millions of people, all empowered to try.
So in the end, it all comes down to one really simple, powerful question that we can ask about our own communities, our own countries. How hard is it for someone here to try to make things better? The answer to that simple question, well, that's what's going to define our future. Thanks for tuning into this explainer.